Hello everyone and welcome. Today we are presenting the maths problem of the week, and as I promised we will continue strategies to help remember mathematical facts. This week I'm going to focus on division, specifically dividing by 2, 4 and 8, and we're going to use a tool called the Halving Hammer. Now with this hammer you can take a number and half it, take that number and half it, and take that number and half it again, as I've used with this example. If we take the number 8 and half it, it's 4, half it again, it's 2, and half it one more time, it becomes 1. How is that important? Well, if we half something once, we're dividing by 2. If we half something twice, we're dividing by 4. And if we half something 3 times, we're dividing by 8. And I think it's a lot easier for our brains to think like that instead of seeing something divided by 8, which sometimes can cause a bit of anxiety. Instead of thinking something divided by 8, we could think something halved, halved again, and halved one more time. That might make it a little easier for us. So, using this logic, I want you to do the following. In our mild problem, I want you to use the halving hammer once on each of these numbers. In our medium problem, I want you to use the halving hammer once and twice on each of these numbers. And in our hot problem, I want you to use the halving hammer once, twice, and 3 times on each of these numbers. And that's it. I will leave a close-up version of the problem so you can pause and work at your own pace, but I will see you in a moment for the solutions. So you have paused, you've taken your time, and you've completed the level or levels of challenge that you want to. Let's go over the solutions. Let's start with our mild problem. So we have the numbers 10, 22 and 48, and we need to use the halving hammer once. So what are we dividing by if we use the halving hammer once? We're only dividing by 2. So if we think, what's half of 10, or what's 10 divided by 2? What answer would you get? I get the number 5, which is the answer to our first problem. To the second question, what is half of 22? Or what's 22 divided by 2? If we think 22 divided by 2, we know that 2 goes into 20 10 times, and 2 goes into 2 1 time, add that together to make 11. But if you actually just half the number 22, you get the same answer, 11. Finally, 48, a much bigger number. If we use our halving hammer, or divide by 2, what answer should we get for this one? The answer we should get is the number 24. And those are the answers to our mild problem. Now I'll be back in a moment to go over the medium solution. Thank you very much, mild solution Grant. Now let's go over the medium solution. So we need to hit these 3 numbers with the halving hammer twice. What would that be the same as? Well, it would be the same as dividing by 4. But again, I think it's a bit easier to think what's half of this number and half of it again, rather than having to worry about what something divided by 4 is. So let's look at our first one. What is half of 28? For me, the answer that I got was 14. So that's what would happen if you hit this rock once. What would happen if we hit the number 14 with the halving hammer, or hit the number 28 with the halving hammer twice? We would get the number 7. And those are the answers to the first question in our medium problem. The second one, the number 84. What would happen if we hit that with the halving hammer once? We should get the number 42, because half of 84 is 42. And again, what would happen if we hit the halving hammer with 42? Or if we hit 84 twice with the halving hammer? We will get the number 21. And those are the answers to the second question. Final question, 104, a much bigger number to try and half. What's half of 104? I get the number 52, and I hope you do too. And what is half of 52? That would be 26. So if we hit the number 104 with the halving hammer twice, we would get 26, because we half it to get 52 and half it again to get 26. And those are the solutions to our medium problem. And I'll be back in a moment to go over the hot solution. Thank you very much, medium solution Grant. Let's go over the hot solution. Now, we have to do some very big number halving. Let's start with our first question, the number 96. What is half of 96, or 96 divided by 2? The answer is 48. So that's what number you would get if you hit this rock with the halving hammer once. What would happen if we hit it again? What would half of 48 be? Well, if we look back at our mild problem, we know that that's 24. But we still need to half one more time to get our final answer to the first question. So, what's half of 24? That would be the number 12. Now, if I said 96 divided by 8, I'm sure a lot of you would have panicked and got very anxious and not been able to even start the problem. But if I ask you to half, and half again, you'll get the same answer. So if you ever see divide by 8 and you're not too sure of the answer, start halving. And if you do that 3 times, you will get to the final answer. But let's move on to our second question, 144, and we need to half it once, twice, and 3 times. So what's half of 144? Quite difficult, but it's the number 72. So that's what happens if you hit this rock with the halving hammer once. What if we hit the number 72 with the halving hammer? What would we get then? That would be the number 36. So we've hit this rock with the halving hammer once, twice, and what if we hit the number 36 with the halving hammer, or the 144 3 times? We'll get the number 18. So now we know that 144 divided by 8 would be 18. Let's take a look at our final question of our hot problem. We need to half, and half again the number 216. So what's half of 216? That would be 108. Or 216 divided by 2 is 108. What's 108 halved? That would be 54. And finally, what is 54 halved? That is the number 27. So if I said 216 divided by 8, you would get an answer of 27. Because if you half again, and half one more time, you will get the answer 27. So, thank you so much for participating in any level of challenge. And I hope this is a great technique that you use to help divide by 2, 4 and 8. Let me know what you think of it in the comments below, and as always, take care and enjoy the rest of your day. Bye!